Hey everybody, welcome to Mystery Tool Monday here at Tucson Acres. So last week's sneak peek, I showed you these weird looking pliers here. I actually found another pair that's designed for the same sort of purpose. We'll get right into that. And if you stick around for just a few minutes, we'll do a sneak peek at next week's mystery tool. All right, so one of y'all actually got it right, or at least in part. These are tire chain pliers. All right, so as I showed last week, there is no identifying marks on these pliers whatsoever. However, I was able to find a pair that is very, very similar. I'll put up a photo of the patent pictures and usage explanation right here. And it looks like this end right here was used to split the chains apart, or split the links apart. And then this part in the middle here was actually used to squeeze the dual links back together. So I have a set of tire chains here. Now these are for my tractor, so they're much bigger, much heavier. I don't actually have a pair of car chains, which is kind of ironic living up in northern Michigan. But basically you would use the plier end to split open these connecting links so that you can adjust them. And then this dual link right here, or whatever, I don't honestly know what that would be called, but that right there would fit inside of these double jaws here and squish them back down, or tighten them back up so you could adjust your chains. Now car tire chains are much, much thinner gauge. And no kidding, just like 3 days ago, driving by a garage sale and found this pair of tire chain pliers. And I'm assuming that these could be used for just about any kind of chain, but you see it's got the spreader jaws here on the sides. So you would put that in between the links and spread them apart. And then the middle side here is for once you get your chain shortened or lengthened to whatever size you need, you could crimp the link back together. So pretty nifty. I've actually never used these. I just use a pry bar to get a link open and then a hammer to smash it back together. But these are old school. The patent on these, if you notice, it was like from the 1920s. So really, really old school design here. Probably effective for back then, and the tire chains they used. Probably not all that handy now. I've seen a whole bunch of photos of other tire chain pliers that are huge. They're like the size of bolt cutters. They're just, you know, massive, 2 foot long, something like that. And that would be used probably more for a chain this size. All right, well that's it for the tire chain pliers. Thanks for checking that out. Now, per viewer request, this is next week's mystery tool. Take a good look at it. It's got this big old slide piece on here. Got this weird looking jaw piece on it, and I know this is not as uncommon as, say, these tire chain pliers. However, I'm sure a lot of people out there have never seen one, so it's pretty unique, pretty different, pretty goofy look. And I've had a couple pairs of these over the years. This is just the one I kept because it was in the best shape, and I have to admit I don't really use it at all. I don't find it all that handy. All right, well that's it for this week. If you got any guesses on what this bugger is, go ahead and throw it in the comment section. And if you got any suggestions for future tools, go ahead and throw that down there as well. I'll see what I can do. I might have it laying around. Thanks for watching. Keep pulling on them bootstraps. We'll catch you next week.